Those coming to see inmates are directed left through a series of steel gates into the prison's oblong visiting room. The warden's office is on the right side of the lobby, protected by an electronically locked glass door that must be buzzed open by a guard. Straight ahead, barely visible through a grid of steel bars, is the prison rotunda. The prison's control center sits in the middle of the lobby. It looks like a drive-in window at a bank. Guards within stand behind waist-high bulletproof glass, and the walls are protected by armor plates, hidden from view by pine paneling and red bricks. Inside the center are 4,000 keys, which unlock every door within the penitentiary. They are kept on a numbered pegboard that reaches from the tile floor almost to the ceiling. Each time a guard takes a key, a quarter-sized brass chip with his name engraved on it is placed on the pegboard where that key usually hangs. This way, guards can tell instantly who has which keys. Because Director Quinlan had given me permission to enter Leavenworth, the control center issued me a special laminated pass containing my photograph, name, and a coded magnetic strip. The guards also posted my picture inside the center because they are required to be able to visually identify everyone who enters or leaves the interior of the prison. Once I was given my pass, I could walk through the second steel gate that led toward the rotunda. Like the gate at the front door, the second gate was 8 feet tall, 5 feet wide, and made of reinforced 1-inch round steel bars. I stepped through it and was now standing in a 12-foot wide sally port, a holding area between the outside world and the hothouse. I slipped my identification badge across the scanner, and my name was automatically added to a computerized list of non-inmates inside the prison. In case of a riot, the control center would know my name as well as the name of every guard inside. The final gate, or grill as it is called by guards, was opened and shut by a guard stationed inside the rotunda, not by a guard in the control center. This was a security precaution. If someone from outside the prison stormed the control center and somehow seized control of it, he would still not be able to open this final gate. Conversely, if inmates rioted and took the guard's key, they would only be able to get through one gate. The control center would keep the other 2 gates closed. The Bureau always wanted at least 2 gates between convicts and their freedom. On my first day, the guard in the rotunda had been warned by his peers in the control center that I was coming, so I didn't have to wait long for him to walk over and let me in. As I stepped into the rotunda and heard the gate shut behind me, I felt an awful sensation everyone describes the first time he is actually locked inside of a prison. I later learned that most convicts felt that same initial dread when they first entered the hothouse. If Leavenworth is an isolated community, then the rotunda is the town square. All the prison cell houses join the rotunda. There are 4. In addition to 2 large cell houses that make up the front of the prison, there are 2 smaller cell blocks that can't be seen from the street. From the sky, these 4 cell blocks look like spokes on a wagon wheel, with the rotunda serving as the hub. In keeping with the dehumanized starkness of penitentiary life, none of the cell houses has a name. They are identified by the first letters of the alphabet. A and B cell houses are the 2 largest. C and D are the others. Each cell house, I noticed, had only one doorway, and it led into the rotunda. Each of these 4 doors had a steel gate across it. The guard showed me how he could open and close these gates electronically by pressing various red and green buttons at his desk. I can push one button and close all 4 gates at the same time, he explained. Each cell house would be sealed off from the rest of the penitentiary. The only furniture in the rotunda is the guard's wooden desk, which sits directly in the center of the room. At night, after the warden has gone home and the convicts are all locked in their cells, guards sometimes heave tennis balls at the crown of the dome. It looks as if it would be easy to hit, but no one has ever been able to hurl a ball straight up 150 feet to the center. Besides the 4 cell houses, there is a 5th spoke connected to the rotunda. It is a long hallway that leads to the rest of the penitentiary compound. Guards call it Center Hall, and the floor there is covered with red and white tiles. Until the 1960s, convicts were only permitted to walk on the red tiles. If they stepped onto the white, the guards knocked them back. The lieutenant's office is located about halfway down this center hall. It does not belong to a single lieutenant, but is used by the 11 lieutenants who actually run the day-to-day operations of the prison. They report to the prison captain, who technically is in charge of every guard within the prison. Few supervisors in the outside world have as much authority and responsibility as a Leavenworth lieutenant, and the men who earn that rank are quick to remind guards of the fact. A plaque in the office reads, "If you ain't a lieutenant at Leavenworth, you ain't shit." The slogan can be read two ways, but few guards are foolish enough to mention the double entendre. There are always at least 3 lieutenants on duty, and they make the countless decisions that must be resolved each day if the prison is to run smoothly. Across from the lieutenant's office is the prison commissary, where the inmates can buy snacks, greeting cards, a limited amount of clothing, and toilet items. On the day that I arrived, a red neon sign outside the door flashed, "Attention shoppers, last minute of moon pies, $2.05 per box." The commissary is no little operation. Sales to prisoners in fiscal 1987 totaled 1.75 million. They could have been much higher, but the Bureau limits each convict to $105 in spending money per month. The money is deposited in the inmate's account by family or friends outside prison, or by direct deposit from wages he earns working at prison jobs. Each inmate can add $20 in change, but not a cent more, for use in the vending machines in the cell houses. The amount is limited to reduce extortion, theft, and gambling inside the prison. All paper money is prohibited. Beyond the lieutenant's office, at the end of the center hallway, is another steel gate that leads to the prison dining hall, kitchen, employee cafeteria, auditorium, and chapel. There are two outside exits at the end of the rear corridor that open into the prison yard. When the penitentiary first opened, a railroad track ran across the yard, passing through 2 big iron gates and holes punched into the perimeter wall. A special government train used exclusively to ferry convicts between federal prisons was the only vehicle ever permitted on the track. But the track was torn up and removed after 6 convicts commandeered the train on April 21, 1910, and crashed the steam locomotive through the gates as the guards in the gun towers tried to shoot them. The convicts abandoned the locomotive a few miles from the penitentiary and fled on foot, but only one made his way to Canada and freedom. He remains the only convict ever to escape the hothouse and never to be recaptured. The yard is also where Kansas performed its first legal hanging on September 5, 1930, when it executed Carl Panzram for the murder of a Leavenworth guard. Panzram was the first known serial killer in the United States, having killed 22 persons. When they put the noose around his neck, he spit in his executioner's face and declared, "I wish all mankind had one neck so I could choke it." Today, the prison yard is crisscrossed by chain link fences that slice into crooked pieces. To an untrained eye, there seems to be no purpose to the zigzag design, but the fences are positioned to divide the yard into compartments. During emergencies, guards can quickly separate inmates by opening and shutting gates, much like wooden chutes in a cattle yard. The yard contains some buildings, a much-used baseball diamond, concrete tennis courts, an outdoor weightlifting pit, running track, unfinished miniature golf course, and several basketball courts. Convicts also play handball and racquetball by using the penitentiary wall as a backstop. The buildings in the prison yard include the butcher shop, the prison hospital, the hole, the disciplinary housing unit, and a sprawling 4-story building known as Unicorp, an acronym for the Federal Prison Industry Program. Inside Unicorp, Leavenworth inmates produced $27 million worth of goods in 1986, netting the Bureau a tidy $5 million profit that was paid into the National Unicorp coffers to help keep less profitable prison factories solvent. There is a printing plant, a textile shop, a furniture factory located in the industry building. The most famous product made there was John F. Kennedy's rocking chair. 6 gun towers protect the hothouse, and every employee, including clerical workers, prison counselors, and even the prison psychologist, is expected to spend time in them at some point during his or her career. Only the chaplains are exempt. When people apply for a job at Leavenworth, they are asked, What they would do if they saw an inmate climbing the wall. The correct answer is to shoot the main.